In the opening moments of the video, we're introduced to a fiery courtroom dispute between two cousins, Kelly Campbell, a composed and articulate project manager, and Roe, whose real name is Rochelle, the biological mother of the child in question. Kelly steps forward and explains to Judge Brian Woodard that she's brought this case to court out of concern for the well-being of her cousin's 6-year-old son, Caleb. According to Kelly, Roe has only recently taken interest in Caleb's life, and only after a long stretch of irresponsibility. Kelly paints a picture of Roe as emotionally immature, neglectful, and far more interested in her own social life than in caring for her child. The judge listens patiently but sternly, noting the tension simmering between the two women. He quickly makes it clear that while emotions run high, this courtroom will prioritize the child's needs above all else. It's not just a custody case. It's a full-blown family standoff where past neglect is on trial.
All rise. Support court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB1085, Campbell case.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies, you may be seated. I'm Judge Brian D. Woodard, and ma'am, you brought this case before me. Matter of fact, before I get started on anything, I see your both last names are Campbell.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So what is your first name?
Kelly Campbell.
Kelly Campbell.
Yes.
And you, ma'am?
I'm Rochelle, but you can call me Ro.
Okay, Rowan and
Kelly.
Kelly, okay. Kelly Rowan, let me go there because if I forget it, because Rowan Kelly. All right, so let's get started. So go ahead and tell me about this.
My name is Kelly Campbell, the best project manager the city has to offer. I brought my cousin to court because she's attempting to want to get involved in her son's life all of a sudden, but her choices, they're poor. She has childish behavior, and she's not taking care of her responsibilities. Simple.
She's not taking care of her responsibilities. How does she have children with you or living with you or?
She has a son, 6 years old.
6 years old?
Yes.
And so what makes her childish?
She's just
Girl,
she
I'm grown.
She's
Girl,
Hold on one second. We're gonna get to that
I'm
part.
real grown.
Okay, Miss Grown. One thing about it is grown people don't have to tell other grown people that they're grown. So just wait till I get to you, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this train moving. But I'm gonna get to you.
Yes, sir.
Miss Rowe. Yeah, R-O, really obvious. All right, let's go.
If
Let's
you
go.
could change the R to a H. But the point, what I'm saying is,
We're not going there, but go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and over like
Emotions
that.
are
I understand, but let's go ahead and get to business.
she's childish because she chooses to mix up her priorities.
Okay.
It's not flying, Your Honor. Her child, it's about 105 degrees.
As the hearing unfolds, the judge gives Roe a chance to defend herself. And that's when things take a dramatic turn. Roe casually admits that she left her 6-year-old son at home alone, so she could go on a date with a man she describes as tall, dark, and handsome. She calls it just 2 hours, but Kelly quickly interrupts, clarifying that it was more like 6 hours, plus 2 bonus hours, as Roe herself called it. The judge, visibly shocked, leans in and asks for more details. Roe responds with what she sees as justification. She gave the child a bowl of noodles, some Capri Suns, cracked a window open, and turned on a fan before leaving. The judge, appalled, asks if she thinks the child is a dog, left alone in a hot room with barely any food and ventilation. Roe shrugs it off, saying she was going to bring the man back a pork chop and maybe secure him as a stepdad. The absurdity of her explanation highlights a deep level of denial and detachment from the realities of responsible parenting.
She has no AC. She has a gym fan circulating in the home.
The window was cracked.
Hold on,
The window was cracked.
Ladies, let me go ahead and get something straight right here because I just wanted this to go smoothly. And I know how ladies are sometimes. Y'all like to talk and get your point across, and you're going to be heard. I promise you're going to be heard. But being heard this way is not going to fly. So let's go ahead and continue without any interruptions. Ms. Rowe, when it's time for you to go, I will go back to you, Ms. Rowe.
Yes.
But for right now, please keep quiet. Can we do that? Let's get this show back on the road.
Thank you, because she's rude.
I didn't ask about what she is. I'm just asking you to go ahead and continue to tell me what you're going to do.
I stand corrected.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Let's go.
I apologize. As I mentioned, her 6-year-old is in very poor conditions. Circulating hot air with hot air is not going to fly. As I mentioned, the temperatures are high. She leaves a bowl of noodles, chicken flavor, for her son, Capri Suns that aren't refrigerated. The child is so behind educationally. All he know how to do is whoa. It's just a lot going on. I don't like it, and I am going to be the provider for her child. And that's it, point blank.
Okay. And Ms. Campbell, what are you actually asking for before I go further into this?
Honestly, I want the full custody of her child, Caleb.
Okay.
And I would like her to pay me since she wants other men to pay her. But that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to tell me before I move on to Ms. Rose?
I want you to see that she's truly childish, lax.
I didn't ask for insults. I said, is there anything that you want to tell me?
I didn't know that was an insult. It's really factual. No, that's it.
Okay.
Judge Woodard does not hold back. In a moment of sharp clarity, he looks Roe in the eye and says what everyone's likely thinking. This is not a joke, and it's certainly not entertainment. When Roe tries to justify her behavior with flippant remarks about needing a night out or working toward the bigger picture, the judge fires back. He explains that if she truly wanted what's best for her son, she wouldn't have left him alone in dangerous conditions for the sake of a pork chop and a potential romantic interest. He points out how absurd it is to crack a window and call it proper ventilation while temperatures outside hit 105 degrees. He even questions Roe's grasp on reality, asking whether she herself would accept a Capri Sun and a fan as comfort in such heat. The courtroom grows increasingly quiet as the judge's words land. It becomes clear this isn't just a custody case. It's a moment of reckoning. Roe's failure to take accountability is being peeled apart layer by layer in front of a judge who's had enough of excuses.
All right. Well, see, this is going to be a challenge. Woo, don't you know? Miss Roe, let's go. Continue this show.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, so they keep saying I'm crazy, right? They took my baby from me and gave it to her because I had a little date. I spent the block. I left him at the house by
You spent the what?
The block. We went to Perry's. Me and his he was tall, dark, and handsome. But I was gonna bring him a pork chop special back. So I went on this little date, left him at the house by himself. I gave him some noodles, a Capri Sun, and they call themselves saying, "Oh, you can't leave the baby at the house by himself." I'm like, look, he was good. It was just for like 2 hours. I was gonna be right back, and I was gonna bring him back.
Wait a minute, how long?
Like 2 hours. We
2
had
hours.
reservations, so we was gonna get right in.
So you made reservations and you left your child with her for just 2 hours. Was it just for that night,
It
or
was
was it?
not 2 hours, Your Honor. It was 6
Okay.
hours
All right.
plus 2 bonus hours because she wanted to have a rendezvous.
All right, hold on. Okay, continue this. Yeah, this is.
Thank
You know,
you.
I really want to hear this one.
She think 'cause she got a pool.
No,
in
well,
her
I ain't
backyard.
worried about that. Let's get to the facts.
Okay, sorry. So I spent the block, ran to the Perry's with the fella, you know what I'm saying? He was smart. Okay. So look, I'm trying to get him a stepdad. I was gonna bring him back a pork chop special. Have you had one of them Perry's pork chops?
You trying to get a
It's like
stepdaddy?
this,
Listen,
it's
you're trying to go and get a stepdaddy
for the
with
baby.
for a pork chop with a pork chop. Is
So
that
I was gonna
how?
bring him the pork chop back.
And so you expect him to be stepdaddy because you brought him bringing a pork chop because you bring. I want him to be
I'm
my
bringing the
stepdaddy.
baby.
So maybe if I give him a pork chop, he gonna be my.
I'll bring the baby back a pork chop.
Oh, the
He
baby!
said-
You bring the baby a pork
I
chop,
went on
not the
date.
man a pork chop.
No, the man was gonna buy the baby a pork chop.
Okay.
So I'm taking care of him.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, man.
So me and
As the testimony continues, Kelly drops a bombshell that shifts the courtroom atmosphere. She claims Roe only visits Caleb on December 31st, just in time to claim him as a dependent on her taxes. According to Kelly, Roe lists multiple fake dependents, only has one real child, and uses Caleb for financial gain without offering any support in return. The judge probes further into Roe's finances and discovers that she earns $65,000 a year working in insurance, yet contributes nothing toward the child's expenses. In fact, Kelly says she rarely even received the food stamps Roe's supposedly getting for the child. The judge doesn't hide his disdain. He questions how someone earning a stable salary can abandon her financial responsibilities to a relative while still feeling entitled to reclaim custody. Roe continues to insist she wants her baby back, claiming she's very fit and even goes to the gym. But the judge sees right through her facade, pointing out that true fitness, especially for a mother, requires emotional, financial, and parental responsibility.
The man went out to dinner, I get back, they all, you're not supposed to leave your baby here, this and this and this. I'm like, he's 6 years old. He got some noodles, he got a couple of Capri Sun. I cracked the window, the fan was on, so he was good. They say I'm unfit, I fight a couple people, bust a few windows, plant some tires, and they think that I can't.
Ma'am, you cannot be serious right now.
Dead.
Are you really serious right now? Number one, you're talking about, well, first of all, let me say this. How hot is it outside right now?
105. That's the
Hold
car.
on. I'm asking her because you're already at 105 because you're already talking. You heated up, and I understand.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yes,
passionate.
how hot is it outside right now?
Well, that day it was, cause we went at night.
I didn't
cool
ask
down a
whether
little
you
bit.
went at night or anything, because it's still hot at night as well, too.
I mean, about 80, 90, it cool down. But he had a fan.
And you got a fan. You gave the child a fan in the car.
I cracked the window.
You cracked it. So what is this child, a dog?
No, Caleb. He's a human.
But it's hot outside and you're going to give the child a fan. And then what else?
Capri Sun.
And a Capri Sun.
Too.
Now let me ask you something. Would you want a hot car or a hot environment and somebody give you a Capri Sun?
No, I was at Perry.
You know what? Sometimes you just don't have the words to say. And I guess this is one of those times where, Lord have mercy, I do not have the words to say. Now this lady right here, Miss, what did you say your first name was?
Kelly with a capital K.
Miss Kelly with the capital K.
The best project
Okay,
manager.
I didn't ask if he was the best or the worst because you have no proof to tell me if you did right or wrong. It comes to those project managers or whatever else you say. You don't have to build the words up to me. Okay, but if you don't want to be done that way, why do you think that it's okay to let a child sit like that and treat him like that?
For 2 hours.
It doesn't matter, but I said, would you want that done?
No, I mean, but sometimes we gotta go through stuff to get to the bigger picture. And I was working on this.
It looked like you got to the bigger picture with Paris.
I did,
Yeah,
and that's when the baby was gonna come with me on
yeah, I see. Okay.
Setting him up.
All right.
Yeah.
Miss Rowe, how much do you make how much you make a year?
I make 65.
65,000 a year. And doing what again?
I work for insurance.
Insurance.
In the final moments of the hearing, Judge Woodard makes it clear this case is no longer about personal grudges or petty arguments. It's about what's in the best interest of Caleb. After calculating Roe's monthly income and subtracting insurance costs, he orders her to pay $1,043 per month in child support. The judge's tone is stern as he tells Roe she can't just gallivant through life chasing pork chops and caviar while someone else shoulders the real work of raising her child. He tells her bluntly that if she truly wanted Caleb back, she would have acted sooner, not waited over a year to step into court, not only after being confronted. The ruling is final. The courtroom goes quiet as the judge slams the metaphorical gavel. Roe gets her karma in the form of financial accountability, and Kelly walks away with legal validation of what she's already been doing for over a year, raising Caleb with care, commitment, and consistency. Justice is served, not with pork chops, but with a court order and a reality check.
The insurance, it's
But
called
I'm
somebody
trying
else.
to beg about it.
All right, so before I do anything else, quick question, because I almost forgot. So who pays the health insurance for this child?
I do.
Okay, both of y'all can't say that at the same time. So
I'm the mom.
I pay. It comes out of my check, $350.
I love my baby.
if you know, all you've been talking about is pork chops.
Your Honor,
I
can
can
I?
tell you probably been eating a lot of pork chops. Yes, but can you do what?
She says she loves her baby. The only time she comes around is December the 31st to get his social so she can file him on the taxes. She's trying to get a come up. A come up. She lies, Judge. She puts
Okay.
8 dependents. She got 1 kid.
And so you paying they're paying you obviously $65,000 for your income. Are you paying your cousin anything for keeping this child and taking care of this child?
What I'm paying for?
She barely will give me the food stamp. She get $1,500 in the food
Okay,
stamp.
I see where this is going.
I want
now,
my
man.
baby back.
Okay, yeah. There's everything. You think the world just revolves around you because I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. So this is what we're going to do. And it's obviously that, you are going to be paying something. I mean, you make $65,000 a year.
Barely.
Okay. So how long have you had the child? What's his name? Caleb.
Caleb, correct. Caleb has been with us about a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yes, because thank God they did a welfare check.
And you haven't received anything for a year and a half.
Absolutely not, but sorry excuses.
Hold on. It's not here to insult. I'm just asking questions. A year and a half, you haven't received anything.
Barely.
Okay, but obviously this child is going to need to be taken care of because, everything in life is just ain't free. You just can't drop your child off and let somebody else take care of it.
I
Thinking
didn't drop him off.
she's taking care of your child.
I want him back.
She's taking care of. Okay, so how come you just now coming to court and saying that you just want him back? What happened to the past year?
I've been saying I want him back. She keep dragging me through the mud.
Dragging you through.
Oh, I'm unfit. I'm very fit. I go to
Ma'am,
the
I'm just going to say this. When you're talking about caviar and stuff like that, obviously you have other reasons. So this is what we're going to do. So
Are you? Judge,
hold on, ladies, hold on. Because we're not going to go there. Y'all sound like my family during Christmas time. So, Miss Ro Campbell.
Yeah.
You see, you make $65,000 a year, okay? You're paying by your cousin $350. Your gross is $5,417, and 20% of that, with your net, is $4,401.57. Your high rim, 100 plus. We're gonna add that $163 to it. So basically, you got to pay something. You can't just let your cousin take care of all the business while you're thinking all high and mighty with pork chops and caviar. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, before we get to that, let me go ahead and get this before I forget about it. So, yes, you're going to pay. Okay, and the thing is, you're going to pay $1,043 flat. Nothing more, nothing less. But you need to be at home with if you wanted your child back so bad, it shouldn't have taken this long. Okay, you shouldn't be out there with the man eating pork chops and caviar while she's up there taking care of your child and not getting a dime. Am I mistaken about that?
None of the coins, silver or copper.
So before you have anything else to say, that is my decision. This case is over with. This is adjourned. You have my answer. All right, ladies, you may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.